Hi and welcome to all the racing enthusiasts and all those racing lovers around the globe who are joining us for this pre-recorded show. We are recording for the meeting at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, recording early doors on Monday morning for the Tuesday meeting. So take note of the final declarations and then you can have your final bets. Joining me on the line, none other than the resident expert, Graham Hawkins in Cape Town. Firstly, Graham, how do we find you? And secondly, what do you make of the card?
Yeah, it's a competitive card. I'm doing well, thank you, Sheldon. Cool weather in the Western Cape for the entire week until later on, maybe Thursday, Friday, it gets a bit warmer, but conditions for racing should be perfect. This is the second meeting back at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. This is obviously a double-headed day. We also raced at the Val. So we've got a later than usual start, first race and opening leg of the Bipot off at 1:15. So the Val racing action will get off earlier. And we start with a very interesting and competitive maiden plate over 1,200 meters.
Talking about an interesting and competitive race, you have gone with the Bipot as your suggested bet with numbers 5, 8 and 10 in the opening leg. Now just looking at numbers 5 and 10, they both met behind Beware the Bomb, but Miraculous was making the debut on that occasion.
Yes, and Hope Chest came out of the same race. So all three, 5, 8 and 10, ran against each other on the 8th of October. On that occasion, Englefield Green was third, a length behind Beware the Bomb. Hope Chest was fifth, just a little way behind, and Miraculous was sixth. Now, I fancy Hope Chest will improve sufficiently to turn it around with Englefield Green, but the fact of the matter is that both Englefield Green and Miraculous have had another start since, so it's not easy to assess. If you look at the form subsequent to that run on the 8th of October, the run on the 14th of September when they ran behind Beware the Bomb. The 8th of October, Englefield Green ran 4th to Oktoberfest, and Pink Pigeon has come out to frank that form. And Miraculous ran 2nd to Swire Tech on the 8th of October, and Goodness Gracious Me has come out to frank that form. So the form lines are strong, but when the three met, you could pretty much throw a blanket over them. But I do think that Hope Chest might improve sufficiently to win, but I haven't taken any chances in the opening leg of the Bipot. I've gone with all three, numbers 5, Englefield Green, 8, Hope Chest, and 10, Miraculous. As I say, I slightly prefer the chances of number 8, Hope Chest. Others to consider for trifectas and quartets, we can expect improvement from number 1, Winter's Dragon, and place chances also for number 9, Poetic Princess, and 11, Stew's Girl, but perhaps it'll turn out to be a match in 3.
On to race number 2, where number 12, Garrix, the son of Vercingetorix. The Vercingetorixes are absolutely flying at the moment, and this is out of the Smart Strike mare, Makiwara, and currently short priced in the betting. Now, Graham, looking at Garrix, number 12, Major Master, who ran 3rd, came through to win. Sir Korsky, who ran 4th, and then Pinot Grigio, who ran back in around 7th position, and then there's been 3 seconds after that, so the form lines are very decent.
Very strong debut form line when second beaten only half a length by Let It Be Said, and we can be short and sweet. Yeah, Sheldon. The nap of the day, the standout bet of the day, number 12, Garrix. Surely a Bipot banker, surely a place accumulator banker. Difficult to oppose number 12, Garrix. As I say, he does look the best bet on the card. He's certainly entitled to be deep in the red. I guess there are a number of horses amongst the balance of the field that can improve to get into the money. That comment applies to number 2, Native Ruler, coming along the right way, but he was well behind Garrix in the same form line behind Let It Be Said, but has had another run, and it was a better run. So Native Ruler should be one of those chasing him home, but I'm not expecting number 12, Garrix, to finish up anywhere else other than in the winner's enclosure.
So there you got the confidence, the form lines are there to be seen, and now it's time for Garrix to do the work on the track. Moving on to race number 3, where number 9, Sweet Conifer, is your 22-10 favourite. Number 13, which is Spin My Angel Spin from the Gareth Van Zyl stable. The Hollywood Syndicate having a wonderful weekend, and obviously Isivungu Vungu running in America. That is shortened 3-1, and then we have number 11, Berry's Boogie, at 9-2. Graham, just looking by your selections, 5 runners in the race, you're obviously looking to survive this leg.
I think it's quite a competitive maiden plate for fillies and mares over 1,200 metres. I think there are many potential winners. The obvious contenders, number 9, Sweet Conifer, caught the eye on debut despite a slow start when running third behind 2Gs. The form for number 11, Berry's Boogie, is there for all to see. Ran second on debut, and they're not too far away from Garden of Eden in its next start. Interesting that the money's coming for number 13, Spin My Angel Spin. Not a bad debut, given a nice, gentle introduction to racing behind Swire Tech. As I mentioned earlier, goodness gracious me, has come out to frank that form. And that form line also comes under scrutiny in the earlier races today. So plenty of scope for improvement, number 13, Spin My Angel Spin. But watch out for improvement also from the likes of number 2, Love Story. Those form lines are quite strong. Rockapina, well above average. Be Merry, as we've known, and as we've seen in recent weeks, is well above average. And then Winter Gamble was a little way behind Sweet Conifer last time out. But you know that Candice Bass-Robinson likes to bring them along quite gently. And I think the number 4, Winter Gamble, can also improve quite a lot in this race. So it's not cut and dried. I think you've got to go pretty wide. Those that I've mentioned, 2, 4, 9, 11, and 13, are all worthy of consideration in what is the opening leg of the Pick Six.
Then moving on to race number 4, and just looking at the betting here, number 3, Crescent, has shortened from 28 to 10 down 2 to 1, but number 9, Winter Emeralds, is scratched, so take out number 9, Winter Emerald. 2 to 1 Crescent, number 2 Golden Destiny 5 to 2, and then number 10 Scottish Links at around 9 to 2. Graham, there's only 3 runners in single figures, and quite interesting, number 3 Crescent ran third last time out, fourth prior to that. This runs for Greg Bortz and Gina Goldsmith, and that was backed up with number 10 Scottish Links. And just looking at this individual, fair first run, and then last time out just a little bit low pole.
I think plenty of improvement to come from number 10, Scottish Links. I think he'll prefer being at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth down the lane. He got a little bit lost on the turn in his first start at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. So plenty of scope for improvement from number 10, Scottish Links. But I do quite strongly like number 3, Crescent. Initially, Golden Destiny was at the top of the boards with Crescent, as you mentioned, second favourite at 28 to 10. I'm not surprised the money has come for Crescent. He certainly has the right form. He's worth following. It was a good fourth behind Peregrine Falcon in his penultimate start. And then, as you've mentioned, close up behind Sir Korski last time. And Diablo's come out of that form line to frank it. But you have to have a measure of respect for number 2, Golden Destiny. It is fair to say that he has been disappointing, but I do know that Dean Kannemeyer holds him in quite high regard. And his first 2 runs behind the very talented One Stripe suggested that he's got more to come. He needs to step up the plate now. So Crescent is my firm first choice, and I've decided to go with him as an alternate Bipot banker. Golden Destiny and Scottish Links, as you've mentioned, the only other 2 quoted in single figures. There could be improvement to come from 1 or 2 of the others, but these 3 do seem to dominate the outcome of race 4, which is also the first leg of Jackpot 1.
Well, there you go. Number 3, Crescent, shapes up as a banker in the Bipot. And looking number 2, Golden Destiny, third run after the rest, has run behind One Stripe. And that second run, there's been at least 6 winners, 7 winners out of that run. The next run behind Legal Counsel, there's been at least 3 winners. So the form lines are there. Let's keep a close eye on Golden Destiny. As we hop along to race number 5, and looking at race number 5, let's get the betting open here. Number 2, Marine Merchant, is trading at around 13 to 10. And let's just see if there is any scratchings here. No. So from 22 to 10 down 13 to 10. Elder de Meyer for the Candice Bass-Robinson stable. Number 2, Marine Merchant. Number 1, Honor of Kings, from 7 to 2 is 5 to 2. And the rest of the field appear to be drifting out. Now, Graham, your numbers are 1, 2, and 6. Who would be your first selection putting you in a corner?
I guess we've got to go with number 2, Marine Merchant, but I'm not 100% sold on him. I think he's a little skinny in the market now. He's entitled to be favourite. He is the half-brother to Red Palace. We know what Red Palace has achieved. Third in both his first 2 starts. They were both at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. He takes on the winter course at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth this time from a nice draw. Last time he was drawn widest of all. Was a fairly distant third behind Happy Days, but plenty of scope for improvement. Better draw this time. Honor of Kings is equally well bred. He's the half-brother to Princess Calla. So we've got Honor of Kings, the half-brother to Princess Calla, and Marine Merchant, the half-brother to Red Palace. So half-brother to 2 Grade 1 horses. So both have plenty of scope for improvement. I cannot be firm on one over the other. The reason I've included number 6, Past and Present, I looked amongst the balance and said, well, what can improve? Well, Past and Present, off the back of what has to be said, are 2 rather indifferent runs. He has his first run as a gelding, and they've slapped the blinkers on. So gelded and blinker strike, number 6, Past and Present. He's a lightly raced son of Gimme the Green Light. He's out of a good mare, and he could suddenly improve. So I'm worried that he could get into the mix, number 6, Past and Present. Not sure how he's doing at home, but the fact that he has his first start as a gelding and as a blinker strike commands respect, in my opinion, as both Honor of Kings and Marine Merchant, while they've shown promise, you can't say that it's a form of the highest quality. I'm expecting both to improve. Marine Merchant, probably the first choice, but I would cover him as far as the pick 6 and the jackpot is concerned.
Next up will be race number 6, which is the 1400 event for fillies and mares. And just looking at the current betting, there's been a few betting changes here. Number 1, Call Me Getrix from 28 to 10 to 22 to 10. Number 5, Fatal Gem from 3 to 1 to 5 to 2. And number 8, My Flower Fate from 5 to 1 down 4 to 1. And also number 4, Fun Zone down 5 to 1. And number 7, School Policy is 6 to 1. Just having a look, there's no scratchings at this point in time that I can see in the 6th race. Now, let's start off with number 1, Call Me Getrix. Graham, I believe she could be a little bit vulnerable to horses like Fatal Gem and My Flower Fate in this race.
This is, as always, a trappy Class 3 fillies and mares, 1,400 metres. I've tried to narrow it down to 3 horses, but you can't safely do that. Call Me Getrix is in pole position. Ran second a length behind Fatal Gem, who reopposes here last time out. That was at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. You can't fault Call Me Getrix's consistency. She always gives you a good go for your money, and she will do so again from pole position. She has a slight benefit of the weights with Fatal Gem, but I think there's always been a bit of quality about Fatal Gem, and she wasn't disgraced behind Red Palace last time out. And then, as we mentioned, prior to that, she beat Call Me Getrix. My Flower Fate hasn't won for 489 days. And you can hardly say that the handicap has been kind to her, because she's had no relief whatsoever over that period. But that all being said, she's quite talented, this 5-year-old daughter of Master My Fate. She is drawn on the outside of the small field. I don't expect that to be too much of an impediment. I wouldn't be surprised if she were to end up in the winner's enclosure. So I've gone principally with numbers 1, Call Me Getrix, 5, Fatal Gem, and 8, My Flower Fate. But the race doesn't end there. Fun Zone is always a threat, and I'm intrigued by the fact, 1 late declaration in the race, number 7, School Policy, gets blinkers for the first time in her career. And she likes to get on a bicycle. It is the winter course with a shorter run in. And if they give number 7, School Policy, blinkered for the first time, a soft lead, well, she could prove hard to peg back. So 5, 8, and 1 for me, but the backup would be 4, Fun Zone, and 7, School Policy. And while I'm going with the 3 horses in the Bipot, I'd be inclined to include both numbers 4, Fun Zone, and 7, School Policy in jackpot and pick 6 permutations.
That'll take us on to race number 7, where number 7, King Pele's, is your 18 to 10 favourite. Number 6, Lightning Glows, second on the boards at 4 to 1, along with number 9, Fibonacci. Number 3, Navy Strength, around 6 to 1, and then you go 7 to 1, number 5, for Lupaki, 10 to 1, and better the rest. Graham, this horse number 7, King Pele's, from the Gareth van Zyl stable, has won 2 of the last 3. And last time out, the replay would be self-explanatory. Had to really lift himself off the canvas, and he came back for a tremendous win after being blocked.
Win full of merit, Sheldon. Number 7, King Palace. He's gone up 6 points in the ratings. As you say, he's in tremendous form. My one little concern, and I stress the word little concern, would be stepping back in trip to 1,800 metres. Two of his most recent wins have been over 2,000 metres. In between, he ran third over 1,800 metres this trip, behind Call to Unite, but that was a very competitive race as well. And I say I'm a little concerned because I do believe he's a half-brother to a South African Derby winners by Duke of Marmalade. I think his forte is going to be when he goes over a bit further. I would like to see him going, the more extended trips of 2,400 metres, but perhaps this race came along. Gareth Van Zyl stable in the Western Cape. Small Yard is doing well now, ticking along nicely. And King Palace will be competitive. Do I think he's an absolute certainty? No, because I'd like to see him going more ground. But there's one thing for certain. He's got a lot of courage. He's got a lot of heart. But Justin Snaith brings a two-pronged attack into the race. Numbers 3, Navy Strength, who's coming along very nicely. He was 2 1/4 lengths behind King Palace last time out. Better off at the weights this time and could get closer. The one that intrigues me is number 6, Lightning Glow. He won 3 on the bounce before April. Then he would have needed his comeback run on the 8th of October when 9th behind Infrared. He might need one more to strip fully fit. So while I respect Lightning Glow, I also do respect the fact that he might be one run short of peak fitness. And then Fibonacci is interesting because he goes the trip for the first time. He's never gone 1,800 metres before. The Vaughan Marshall Sean Veal combination have been in pretty good form. Another terrific win by Aspect over the weekend, and he was stepping up into uncharted waters when going up to 1,600 metres, and he did so successfully. Yeah, we have Fibonacci stepping up into uncharted waters, and he may do that successfully. So King Palace and Lightning Glow, the top two for me, with King Palace probably the top choice. Because of the fact that he's fully match fit, he's in good form. Navy Strength warrants respect, as does number 9, Fibonacci. You've got to make up your own mind whether you go strongly with King Palace and you row in with him as a banker. I'm not going that route because I'm really waiting for King Palace to be stepped up over more ground.
Well, there you heard it. Race number 7. We've got one left to negotiate. So if you're looking for the double races, 7 and 8. Race number 8 is the Hollywoodbets Bright Future Open Handicap. So I must stress to you, it's an open handicap, so take note of the weight structuring from top to tail. I think it's 61.5 kilograms, which the 3 English Mistress carries, and I think we're down to 52.5 and 53. So Graham, looking at race number 8, number 3 English Mistress, a professional maiden with 61.5 on the back, joint 16 to 10 with number 8 Lavender Bay, also 61.5 on the back.
Shorthead separated them last time, went close up behind Pocket Dial. I think the unlucky horse in that race, if you could say that, was number 3 English Mistress. She had to switch in for a clear run. She was doing well at the end. She came from quite some way back, and Elder de Meyer might adopt the same tactics. It does look something of a boat race between number 3 English Mistress and number 8 Lavender Bay. Perhaps you can get away with these two in the final leg of the pick 6. Couple of the pick 6 legs that you can narrow down. I know, as you said, that English Mistress is a professional maiden and Lavender Bay is going the same route, but they bring the best form into the race. You know you're going to get a good run for your money. Precious little to separate the pair on the evidence of their last run, so you've got to go in with both of them, even though I do slightly prefer number 3 English Mistress. She might eventually get it right now at the 14th time of asking. If you're running for a little bit of cover, then I guess you've got to have a measure of respect for number 1, Tap Shoes. She is the full sister to Zappatillis. She's only had the 2 starts. She steps up over 1,800 metres for the first time in her career. This is what she could be looking for. So if you're going to add one more, I'd add the lightly raced Tap Shoes. But I do expect the winner to come from one of number 3 English Mistress or 8 Lavender Bay.
There we go. So Graham Hawkins has given the lowdown. Then a 20-1 number 6 Greenlight Legend has had the 3 runs at Durbanville. Goes to Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. That's a run I'd throw into the pick sixes and the quartets. Thanks very much, Graham. We're going to bring up your suggested bet for the day, which is the Bipot. For all your supporters and fans out there, if you wouldn't mind running through your selections.
Bipot, later than usual start. First of 8 races, 1:15 the action gets underway at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. Numbers 5, 8 and 10, Englefield, Green, Hope Chest and Miraculous. As I mentioned, Hope Chest is my marginal first choice, but I think you do need to throw all 3 in. Then back to the number of the day, number 12, Garrix in the second leg, going wide in the third leg. Numbers 2, 4, 9, 11 and 13. Then we take our chances in the 4th race. Bankering number 3, Crescent. Penultimate leg, numbers 1, 2 and 6. Throwing in past and present along with Honor of Kings and Marine Merchant. And the final leg, numbers 1, 5 and 8. Call Me Jetrix, Fatal Gem and My Flower Faith. That's the suggested Bipot. It looks a nice card where punters may well generally have the better of exchangers.
Well, there we go. Graham Hawkins, the resident expert on the line. Thanks very much, Graham, for joining us and, per usual, doing all the hard work behind the scenes and giving the punters something to think about. Thanks very much, Graham. Have a wonderful day's racing.
Thank you, Sheldon. Go well.
Thanks very much to Graham Hawkins joining us on the line from Cape Town. He's given us the selections, and that's up to the horses on the race course.